Hi, welcome to automationtesting.in. In this video, we will see HTTP request and response. Okay, what do you mean by HTTP and what is the request and response, how it happens? So we'll see one by one. So I'm talking about the request and response, how happens in the REST API. Okay, so let's get started. So here we'll talk about HTTP request and response. So first, what do you mean by HTTP? HTTP means Hyper Text Transfer Protocol. Okay. So protocol means set of rules. So how the communication should happen, it will define. So when you talk about the HTTP request and response, let's assume you have a client and you have a server. So client sends a request. Okay, client sends a request and it will get what response. Okay, so this is client and this is server. So if it needs some information, it will send what? It will send a request. So when client sends some request, server will process and it will give the information back. So that is called what? Response. Okay. A client sends a request and it will get the response. So it happens over the how? Using HTTP, means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay. So this is called request and response cycle. One, if it happens one time, that is called request response cycle. Okay. So when you talk about the communication happens using request and response. Okay. So here now we'll talk about request in REST. How a request happens in REST API. Okay. So to make a valid request, okay, the client has to send the client has to include, or the client needs to include 4 things. Okay. So what are those? So in REST API, we are making a request. So how that request happens, what it contains. So the first part it contains is URL, means uniform resource locator. The second one is a method. So what is the method? It should be, so according to your requirement, so list of headers, and the fourth one is body. So in REST API, if you want to make a valid request, it should contain this much information. It should have a URL, it should mention which method you are using and what is the list of headers and what is the body it should contain. Okay. So we'll talk about one by one in this. If you say URL, otherwise URL, whatever it is, in the URL, see in the REST URLs, what you say, like it became easy way for the client to communicate with the server. Okay, so how we can say URLs become, I can say became, okay, URLs became an easy way to communicate, or easy way for the client to tell the server, which things it wants to interact, and those are called resources. Okay, so the URL means, right, URL means, say, what is it, like you'll have HTTP something. So how you open google.com or something like that, facebook.com, and that is called URL. So the same way you will send, so the each URL we call as a resource. So if I want some information, so I will send a URL. It's a specific URL. That specific URL contains some job, means if you send this URL, you need to get this information. So that's how the client communicates with the server. Okay, so it is an easy way to communicate. If you know the URL, you can easily communicate to the server. Okay, easy way for the client to tell the server which things it wants to interact. So that is called resources. So in detail we will discuss in the upcoming videos, but here you should know, like what happens in when you send a request and when you get a response. Okay, so what do you mean by method? So the method request, so the method request tells the server what kind of action the client wants the server to take. Okay, what action it has to take when I send some request, what kind of information. Okay, the method request tells the server what kind of action the client wants the server to take. Okay, what kind of action the server has to take, that client will say in the form of method. So there are few methods. In that, the four methods are very famous and very frequently used. The four most commonly used or seen in APIs. In APIs are, we can say, the first one is GET. Okay, what it will do, ask the server to retrieve a resource. Okay, so we already discussed in our previous video as part of this video series, but just small information. We already discussed what get happen, what get will do, what post will do, what put will do, what delete will do. Okay, so here once again there is a method. I'm just giving a brief information. Okay, so for better understanding, if you want to know more about the get, post and all these things, please watch the previous video. So the post asks the server to create a new resource. So there we are getting the already existing resource information in the get. In the post we are creating the, what is a resource. So put means ask the server to edit or update an existing resource. Okay, put means you are updating an existing resource. So we have delete. Delete means ask the server to delete a resource. Okay, these are all the four methods we will use. And when you talk about headers, so when you get into the real-time examples, when you talk about the REST API, all these things, we will come to know in detail. But before jumping into that, we should have the basic information, the terminology you should know. When we're talking about the what is header, what is get, what is post, method and resource, URL, when you talk about all these things in the API, when you're testing the API, so you should have that basic terminology and what exactly it is. At least you should have minimum information, right? So headers provide meta information about a request. Okay, so it will provide some information about the request. And what exact that information, everything we will see. Here we are saying here we are seeing only high level. So what body? So the request body contains the data the client wants to receive. Because otherwise the client wants to send the server. How? What it is expecting from the server. Okay. If you take an example, URL means what? HTTP colon some website.com. Whether it is google.com or facebook.com, abc.com, xyz, whatever it is. So when you say method, let's assume it is post. When you talk about header, you are sending user agent. Okay. When you talk about the body, it will have some data. Okay. So in the URL, you'll send the URL and you'll mention the method called, whether it is get, post, put, delete, whatever you want according to your requirement. In the headers, you will send the user agent, and the body you'll send some data. So it's a typical request. Okay. It's a typical request. So the same way, we'll talk about the response. Responsive REST. So the server responds with a status code, right? The server responds with a status code. Normally when it happens something, so we'll talk about the status codes in the next video. But status code means for each and every action, you will get some status code. Okay. According to that status code, you'll come to know what happened when you send a request, whether the response you got is correct or wrong, whether you did not get the response, whether there is any error in the response. So everything will come to know with the status code. So status codes are 3-digit numbers. Okay. Exclusively we'll see in the next video in the status codes, but status code contains 3 digits. Okay. So if you take an example, the response contains status code. Let's assume 200. Okay. Means it's a successful, means request. And the headers. Okay, you will get the headers and the response. It will say that the content type. What is the content type? Okay. Normally it will be the content type text. And the same way, body contains data. So just an example. It may not be the exact, but just an information, like it will have status code, it will have headers, it will have body. Okay. So when you get the response, how it will be, how the data comes in the form of, so data formats. The data formats will get in the response. So a well-designed format is dictated by what makes that information the easiest for the intended audience to understand. Okay, so I'm getting some information. If it is not understood by me, so what is the meaning of getting that information? It should be understood by the person who is requesting that, what is that information, right? So a well-designed format is dictated by what makes the information the easiest easiest for the intended audience, okay, to understand. Intended audience to understand. So for this, we have the most common formats found in APIs are, one is JSON and the second one is XML. Okay, so the most commonly used formats are JSON or XML. When you talk about the JSON, what do you mean by JSON? Okay, JavaScript object notation. So it is very simple format. Okay, it is very simple format that has two pieces. What are the two pieces? Key and value. Okay, it contains key and value. Okay, the representation will be something like, if you say one example, name colon, I'll say API, something like that. Okay, whatever it is. So it will be in the double quotes. The name is key. Here the name is key. Here the API is value. Key value pairs you will contain. The format will be something like this. Just an example. Okay. So this is JSON. When you talk about XML, okay, when you talk about the XML provides a few building blocks. Okay, XML provides a few building blocks. The main block is called node. Okay, so and the XML always starts with the root node. Inside there you will have a child nodes. So the name of the node tells us the attribute of the order and the data inside the actual details. Okay, so it provides few building blocks. Okay, so it provides few building blocks, and the main block is called node. Okay, so XML always starts with root node. Okay, and inside that will have child nodes. Child nodes, you can have multiple child nodes. Okay, so if you take an example, you'll have a something like this. I can say name API / okay, so this is the value and this is node opening tag, and the slash name is called node closing tag. Okay, so this is opening tag and this is value, this is closing tag. We'll call in the XML. Okay, and the opening tag and the closing tag should be same. Here name, here also name. But how you make sure that what is the opening tag and what is the closing tag? See, the name is opening tag, the same tag with a slash, okay, prefixed with the slash is called closing tag. Okay, so now this is an example of XML. So how data formats are used in HTTP then? These formats, how it happens? How data formats are used in HTTP. Okay. So using in the headers, okay, we are saying headers, right? In the headers, we will mention what kind of data we are sending, means the format we need. Using headers, we can inform the server. Okay. Using headers, we can inform the server what information we are sending to it and what we are expecting in return. So what we are sending, so what we are expecting to get. Okay. So for that, we'll have two things here: content type and accept. So we'll say, when you say content type, when the client send the content type, it's saying what format the data is. In the content type, you'll mention, I'm sending the data in the form of XML or JSON, and I'm expecting the data in the form of XML or JSON. Okay. So when the clients send the content type, it's saying what format the data is. Okay. So we'll have one more thing called accept. The accept header tells the server what data information is able to accept. So in the content type, what we are sending, means in the form of, what the information we are sending in the form of. I'm sending the request in the form of JSON, and we are sending the request in the form of XML. Okay. And what information we can accept when we getting the, okay, accept means this content type. So the entire thing is same thing. In between you have a code, and this code is different. Okay. The accept header tells the server what data format it is able to accept. So I can understand the information in the form of JSON. So then the server will send the information in the form of JSON. Okay. And if you are able to understand the form of XML, then it will send in the form of XML. So when you take the same thing, like if you have a client, and the same way if you have a server, so this is client, and this is server. It sends the request and it will get the response. So while sending, and here you will mention accept colon application slash JSON. Okay. So accept colon application slash JSON means I'm accepting what? I'm accepting so it should come here. So when you send the request, you should mention content type here. Okay. Content type, you should mention content type application JSON I'm sending. Okay. When we are getting, so give me 1 second. So when sending, okay, it should be accept actually. I'll tell you why. While sending the request, it is saying that I am accepting only in the form of JSON. Okay, I'm accepting only in the form of JSON. And the same way, when server sending that information, it will say content type colon same application slash JSON. Okay, so it will send the content in the form of JSON. Here the client is saying that I am accepting JSON, the server sending in the form of JSON. Okay, so this is how the data formats are used in HTTP. So this is the information about HTTP request and response in REST. Okay, so the basic terminology I'm introducing here. So the going forward in the next upcoming videos, when I talk about the REST API testing, all these things, we need all this information. So you should aware the terminology what we are using in the API testing. Okay, so that's all in this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel for further videos.